For the best soul food in the Mid-South, it's Shop and Save. 1499 South 3rd, 901-946-4303. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And some of the items on their menu consist of catfish, spaghetti, chicken and dressing, turkey wings, meatloaf, fried chicken, cabbage, yams, greens, salmon croquette, and the list goes on. Some of the best soul food you ever taste in the Mid-South, it is Shop and Save. 1499 South 3rd. Call them again at 901-946-4303. Been in business since 1991. Shop and Save, 1499 South 3rd, 901-946-4303 for some of the best soul food you'll ever taste.
I watch y'all coming here for years because you shot somebody. Now your life is shot. You gonna pick that phone up one day and that girl gonna be done dumped you and raise your child with another man. Or maybe your mama or your grandmama dies. Cause ain't nothing you can do about it. You got 15 to 20 years, state or fed time. Real talk. Don't lose your head, use your head, man. Gun crime, max time.
This pandemic has hit us hard, but Tennesseans don't stay down for long. We're known for our resilience, and we refuse to back down from a challenge. This challenge is no different. You might be out of work, but there's an opportunity waiting for you. We need you to roll up your sleeves and join our workforce. Right now, thousands of jobs are ready to be filled. Find them at jobsfortn.gov. Let's get to work, Tennessee.
It's not about challenging times
or new normals.
It's about staying true to what matters most.
And we're more committed than ever to your health.
Your safety has always been our top priority.
Times may have changed,
but they haven't changed who we are.
We're here for you every single day.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It was just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try.
There aren't any cops around.
Didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to get up, okay? Rub your hands. You all right now? Now.
If you're scheduling a wedding, a funeral, birthday party, appreciation service, or any other special event, then you'll probably need an experienced singer. Rose Prince has been singing in church choirs since the age of 8. Rose has been in very prestigious choirs where she has been selected to sing lead and on praise and worship teams. Rose has also been enrolled in institutional voice lessons. Book a local singer with a wide vocal range and with a voice as beautiful as a rose. Call Rose Prince at 405-468-4953. That's Rose Prince at 405-468-4953 for your special events.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee hands-free law.
which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
For the best soul food in the Mid-South, it's Shop and Save. $14.99 South 3rd, 901-946-4303. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And some of the items on their menu consist of catfish, spaghetti, chicken and dressing, turkey wings, meatloaf, fried chicken, cabbage, yams, greens, salmon croquette, and the list goes on. Some of the best soul food you ever taste in the Mid-South, it is Shop and Save. $14.99 South 3rd. Call them again at 901-946-4303. Been in business since 1991. Shop and Save, $14.99 South 3rd, 901-946-4303 for some of the best soul food you'll ever taste.
I watch y'all coming here for years because you shot somebody. Now your life is shot. You're gonna pick that phone up one day and that girl gonna be done dumped you and raise your child with another man. Or maybe your mama or your grandmama dies. Cause ain't nothing you can do about it. You got 15 to 20 years, state or fed time. Real talk. Don't lose your head, use your head, man. Gun crime, max time.
This pandemic has hit us hard, but Tennesseans don't stay down for long. We're known for our resilience, and we refuse to back down from a challenge. This challenge is no different. You might be out of work, but there's an opportunity waiting for you. We need you to roll up your sleeves and join our workforce. Right now, thousands of jobs are ready to be filled. Find them at jobsfortn.gov. Let's get to work, Tennessee.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It was just a few cocktails at happy hour.
Really good try.
There aren't any cops around. Didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Rub your hands. You all right now?
It's not about challenging times.
Or new normals.
It's about staying true to what matters most.
And we're more committed than ever to your health.
Your safety has always been our top priority.
Times may have changed,
But they haven't changed who we are.
we're here for you every single day.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
And a very good evening to you on a Sunday evening, and welcome to Talk Back Live with Bob.
And Josh.
And it is now, 8:17, 17 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock Central Time, that is. Those of you that are on the East Coast, it is, I guess, an hour later than what we have here. So as I fix myself up here,
and they couldn't see you. So
yeah, so now it's 9. Wow, it's 9:18 on the East Coast. Well, we welcome you to the show tonight. We got some things that we want to talk about and some very interesting topics that you will be interested in as well, to give us your to join in on the conversation and to give us your opinion as well. And the phone number to call us, if you'd like to call, 901-213-6020. Again, the phone number to call is 901-213-6020, or you can just leave your comments on Facebook Live and give us your opinion on what you think on what we have to discuss tonight. Good evening, Josh.
Good evening, Bob. Good evening, everybody watching, listening, tuning in, wherever you may be, however you may be checking us out on this Sunday evening special of Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh. Man, got some stuff we want to talk about, and I appreciate everybody that's joining in and continuing to come on into the room with us here on today. And if you're doing it, go ahead and keep doing so. Also, if you're watching right now, go ahead and hit that like button for me. It is greatly appreciated. Hit it right now. Several of y'all watching on multiple platforms. We're live on Facebook, Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh. We're live on the YouTube, Talk Back Live Network. We're live on Twitter at Talk Back Live on Twitter as well. We're live on Spreaker, the Spreaker app, which is audio only, but you can listen to that while you're working out, running, walking, and you can't look, but you can listen exclusively on the Spreaker app. Just download that on any device you got, and you can check us out there. Follow our Spreaker station. So, man, we appreciate all of that. But again, go on, hit that like button if you're watching. Hit that share button as well, and we can get this thing popping.
All right, we've got some interesting topics to talk about tonight. And no, we're not talking about Roe versus Wade. We got some other things. But now, if you want to say something about that, it's open conversation tonight. Open conversation. And you can call us at 901-213-6020. and we can talk to you about Roe versus Wade if that's what you want to talk about tonight. And we also have, like I said, open conversation. We do have a couple of topics that we want to focus on tonight, Josh. And I tell you what, you ready to get it on?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get it on. Let's start it.
Let's start it indeed.
And in the headlines today, we've got, well, tonight, well, one of the things that a lot of people are still talking about and complaining about is police brutality. Police brutality, or is it police brutality? Or are the criminals crying and complaining too much? Or are the people in the public crying and complaining too much on how bad the police are treating the criminals or so-called criminals? Well, let's talk about it. Josh, starting off in our story tonight, we're going to talk about locally. Well, with the national, this can be talked about nationally as well. We got some video we want to show here, a story where it talks about police officers respond to a situation at a wings place, a wing shop, and people said the police were too rough on a criminal. I think he was a criminal.
Yeah.
Compared to what we read, the things he's done already, and taken the car and beat up somebody, and then some other stuff, police was after him. So, but then we have some people saying that the police was too rough. What? Somebody asked the question. Are we complaining too much about the police? Is this why crime is so high? It's because police respond and they don't know what to do anymore. Criminals are having people complaining about the police to protect the criminals. Josh, let's get this story rolling here. What is going on?
Yeah, man. So this went viral earlier this week, and a lot of y'all, if you're in Memphis or even outside of it, because it went so viral that hundreds of thousands of views online. The raw video from the man in the store that recorded it as it was going down. So we're going to talk about that, and it's raised a lot of debate about whether the police are too rough in certain situations, especially situations like this. So we're going to show the story here. It's got all the details about what happened, and we'll be back.
Yeah. Take a look at this, or take a listen, or however way you're watching us or listening to us, and we'll be back after this with your conversation and your comments. I almost said complaints.
Yeah.
Your comments.
Yeah.
And again, phone lines are open as well. 901-213-6020. Take a look at this, and take a listen, and we'll be back.
Hey, man, hold up, be cool, man. Be cool, man. Hey, man, why y'all doing a man like that, bro?
It is this video of a wanted man fighting Memphis police officers inside of a wing shop that has racked up thousands of views on social media. It is pushing many across the city to question whether officers went too far. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Darcy Thomas.
And I'm Daniel Wilkerson. Daryl Green has the evening off. That video has been shared hundreds of times on Facebook alone in the last 24 hours. The confrontation happened at Rayford's All-in-One Wings on 3rd Street. That's in the Westwood neighborhood. And that's where we find this evening Fox 13's Dominic Dillon.
Well, Dominic, we do know that the suspect was taken into custody because of a felony warrant that was out for his arrest.
Yeah, we're told he was wanted for beating up his girlfriend and damaging her car last week. But with so many people on Facebook and Instagram saying that the officers may have taken things too far, we went into this wing store. We talked to the owner who taped the incident, as well as a crime analyst to get their take.
The kid has sit here for 20 minutes. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know what happened prior to coming here, but I know why he was here. He wasn't nothing but respectful.
Kevin Rayford is the man behind the camera in this now viral video.
Y'all doing a man like that?
It shows two Memphis police officers trying to arrest suspect Arian Walker. Rayford says this all went down at his business, Rayford's All-in-One Hot Wings in Westwood, Monday.
Actually, I had let the guy use the phone, so he brought the phone back to me. And once he gave me the phone back, he said, "Okay, thank you, Mr. Rayford. I'll see you later." And as he was exiting the building, they kind of surrounded him, say, "Hey, where's your ID?"
Rayford says that's when things went south, and he started recording.
He kind of swerved a little bit and kind of resisted a little bit and said, "Hey, man, why you doing this?" And it escalated from there.
In the video, you can see the officer in the red hat punch and knee Walker. With thousands of people now seeing this video and asking if that officer crossed the line, we turn to Mike Collins. He's a retired Shelby County detective who now trains officers. He says police were probably allowed to take the action you see in this video.
Overall, I think what the justification of force is probably going to be justified in this particular incident.
Memphis police say there was a warrant out for Walker's arrest. Walker charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault and vandalism. According to an affidavit, he hit his girlfriend in the face and purposely crashed her car while she was in it, injuring her further last Thursday.
There's no justification for people to take you into custody. Go ahead, have your day in court.
We reached out to MPD for a statement. It says, "We are aware of the video and we're looking into the incident." Darcy?
Well, Dominic, we actually noticed something else while watching this video this morning. We noticed that one officer appears to confront the wing shop owner who's recording this incident. Now, mind you, the video is short. It's a little hard to understand, but we do want to show everyone the clip. Make sure you watch for the officer in the red hat.
Get the out of my store, man. Hey, man, get out of my store, please. Please leave my store.
Now, if you didn't hear that, it sounds like the officer says, "You're going to be next." Dominic, of course, my question to you is, can anyone record a police encounter?
Darcy, I spoke with Collins, the crime analyst, and he says that recording is perfectly legal. But at 6 o'clock, he shares when it could become a problem.
There it is.
Okay, there you have it, folks. What do you think? Did they handle this guy too rough? Who has beat up his girlfriend, wrecked her car, had warrants for his arrest? I mean, we know when they have warrants for their arrest, this guy is a person that's wanted already. He had warrants for his arrest. So when they went in to take him, they had to take him.
Yeah.
Are people complaining too much about this? Did these officers overdo what they should have done? Did they outdo themselves here, or were they just handling and doing their job? Josh, this guy had warrants for his arrest. He beat up his girlfriend. He stole a car. He crashed it. And then he was in this, he come in this place probably to run from the police officers. I don't know.
It could be because, I was thinking that. What gets me, and not necessarily knock on the owner, but you don't want to be naive at the same time. And this is what I mean. He kind of went up to the guy, right? Mm-hmm. And the owner, of that place, he says, "Well, I talked to the young man for 20 minutes. It seemed like he was real polite, right? And everything." I'm like, man, 20 minutes. Now I know first impressions mean a lot. And, you meet somebody, you talk for 20 minutes, you feel like, okay, this is probably a good dude. But is that a bit of a jump of a conclusion to make? I'm not saying you assume he's bad because you don't know nothing about this guy that comes to you.
Well, it doesn't matter at this point. The guy had warrants for his arrest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Whether he was nice to the owner, say, "Oh, he was a nice guy," it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he had warrants for his arrest.
Yeah,
and so the police officers had to do what they had to do to take care of their business and do their job and arrest this guy that had warrants for his arrest. And not only that, he just beat up his girlfriend, stole her car, wrecked her car. And then, he comes in a place like this, to
exactly. See, the reason I brought that up is
and then they asked for his ID.
Yeah, they did.
And all he had to do is say, "Well, why you had no." There shouldn't have been no questions asked by this guy. When the police ask for your ID, we need to teach our young people to do the right thing. And enough police brutality. Enough crazy stuff is done by police officers. We need to teach our young men and women that when a police officer asks you for your ID, give them your ID. Do not say, the first thing you do not say is, "What did I do? Officer, why should I didn't do anything." Just concur and give them your ID. And this could cool a lot of flames that could be brought up in a situation like this. Now, you have your right to your opinion, people. What do you think? 901-213-6020, or just leave your comments on what you think concerning this whole situation.
Definitely.
I don't know.
Got several people watching now. Again, if you're in here, once again, as some folks say, let us know you're in here. Leave a comment, say, "Hey, I'm here." Give us your thoughts on what's going on, or if you just feel free on sitting back and listening. I mean, that's fine too. But we also got the phone number at the bottom of the screen. Let me make sure I got it where people can see it here. Is 90, really actually it's at the top of us now. 901-213-6020 is the number to call. And it's open. If you got anything agreeing or disagreeing what we're talking about, which we're talking about in particular, the viral video that went down in Memphis at a hot wing spot.
Dwight Rogers, thank you for watching.
What's
and
up, Dwight?
Isaac Simpson.
Isaac, what's good, man?
Thanks for coming in. And you have any comments? Give us your comments. What do you think on this? Police, were they too strong? Were they too rough in this particular situation? And are we sometimes, complaining too much for the criminal? Why are we, on edge at times trying to protect the criminal? This guy had a warrant for his arrest. He wrecked his girlfriend's car. He had already beat her up, and so what do you think? I mean, there's this guy, he got what he deserved to me. He had it coming to him. And so they came in and they found him and they had to arrest him because he had warrants for his arrest.
Yeah, and the thing is,
there was nothing they could do.
Like I said, it would be different if he was just standing there, even if he's got a warrant. Yeah. If he was just standing there and they decided to come in swinging at his head and stuff, right, I would somewhat understand. But here, I mean, they questioned him. Now, they did come to detain him because that's the reason they came, because they knew, okay, they've been looking for this guy.
But they did ask for ID too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they came to detain him, which is fine.
But what did he say?
Yeah.
When they asked for the ID.
He said, "Why are you asking?"
What? See, that wrong thing to do.
He said, "To
number one, that was the wrong thing to do." Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we need to, like I said, we need to teach our young black men and women on what they should do and what they should not do when approached by a police officer.
Now, and I think this guy, no matter what, he wouldn't have cared, because clearly he didn't care about much else.
He didn't care.
When he beat that woman, or when he stole the car, when he crashed the car, and all that other stuff. Plus, he's got a past as well.
Well, Josh, if the police hadn't arrived when they did, he probably would have pulled a gun on the owner there in the place.
They said he had a gun on him.
Okay, well, he probably came in there. He probably would have robbed the place. But the owner wanted to get in the police face and get mad at them. I mean, they probably saved his life.
You never know.
People that were working there, you
never know. But I'm going to say this, though. What's interesting, I heard the owner say that guy had a ride drop him off there. And he said that his ride left because he was in the store talking so long.
Oh, well, he dropped him. Okay, normally they drop you off to go in and to hit a place and then run out and then jump back in the car and they take off. But he was too long, and I guess the person that was driving got spooked, I guess, and didn't want to get caught up by the police, and he probably had a warrant for his arrest. No telling.
Honestly,
and just say, hey, man, I can't wait any longer on you. He just left, man.
Yeah.
Just took off. So,
So here's a little bit of the raw footage. Now, this is the unedited footage from Rayford's phone that's been posted online. So you get to see a little more than what you saw on the news. So let's just kind of roll it a little bit. We'll talk about that as we watch.
Yeah, let's revert.
Hey, man, I love my bro. Be cool, man. Be cool, man. Hey, man, why y'all doing a man like that, bro? Hey, why y'all doing this to that man, bro? The man ain't got no gun, man. Man, that shit ain't right, man. I got to sit on film, man. That man ain't done shit, bro. Man, that shit ain't right, bro. Hey, man. Hey, man. I swear to God, I can't breathe me, bro. Y'all can take me right now. You got nothing on me. I swear to God, you got shit on me. What the fuck? Why you dragging me for me, bro? Because you ain't found direction. We just turned the goals one time. Look, bro, that cooperate with him, bro. You ain't done nothing, bro. Look at that, man. You ain't got to be here, man, like that, man. You ain't got to put it on tape. I ain't got no tape. Man, you ain't got to do that to your man like that, bro. You ain't got to do that to man like that, man. Man, you ain't got to do that shit, brother.
Now, look, here's the thing.
Yeah, a lot of profanity. We apologize for that. But, go ahead, Josh.
Here's the thing, man. I lose a lot of respect. I didn't have much respect for the guy anyway because of what he's accused of doing and all that stuff. But, and then you lay there and say you can't breathe. I can't stand if somebody tries to take advantage of a real situation that happened. With George Floyd and the other man in New York City. But I can't breathe. What do you mean you can't breathe? Look, he laying there. They not even on his neck. They ain't on his chest. Matter of fact, one officer's got one arm. One officer has the other arm. They got him spread out on the floor. You mean he can't breathe? And what does he do immediately after that? He gets up and tries to run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but he couldn't breathe.
But come on, man.
Yeah.
No, this is not the case to fight for. There are plenty of cases to fight for. There's plenty of cases that are legitimate and that deserve attention.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it when they do. But this is not one.
Yeah.
This is not one at all.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. 901-213-6020 or leave your comments there on that. And like I said, crime is high. And, we need the police officers to be able to take care of crime situations. We can't complain too much about those type of things.
If it's not called for.
Yeah. Go to the phone lines.
And they dropped as soon as I hit the button.
Okay. All right. If you'd like to call us back, 901-213-6020. And the number that came up there dropped off, 901-213-6020. Yeah. Go ahead, Josh.
But yeah, what you were saying there is correct. But like I say, it's not that you don't complain at all, but if it's not called for, this wasn't a complaining situation.
No,
it just wasn't. You got a guy that seemed like a fool to me. Now, here's where I do think there's a little bit of line crossing. You got a police officer, you see him with the red hat. He seemed a bit. Now, I get, adrenaline's rushing. So you can't expect them to just hug the man.
Right.
And rub his head and say, will you let us arrest you? That's not how this works. Especially if they're resisting. It's going to look violent. That's just how it's going to be.
Well, he's resisting.
You're wrestling a struggling man.
He's resisting he's resisting arrest. He's resisting the officers.
Yeah.
And so what do you expect him to do?
Exactly. And then on top of that, the one thing I disagree with the officer on, the officer in the red hat later in the video, and I'm going to mute it here while I'm playing it. But you'll see toward a certain point, he confronts the man recording him, which you heard in the news story. Darcy Thomas was talking about how that was probably a bit uncalled for that officer.
Well, I mean, okay, was it uncalled for, or did the person with the phone or that was coming toward was he coming toward the officers?
No, he wasn't.
In a way that the officer felt threatened.
No, and you can't do that. Like, people have the right to record.
Oh, I believe that. I understand that they have a right to record, but we have to watch also how we approach situations, especially if they feel they're dealing with someone in a hostile and deadly situation, and especially if a person is armed that has a weapon on it, which this guy had. And so, and it was for probably their own safety, because you never know, like I said, what this guy came in to do. He probably came in, if the officers hadn't showed up, he probably would have shot people in the place or robbed the place and taken off. Lives probably were saved here. That's what we have to understand in these type of situations here. We just can't look at it just because, maybe somebody you love or yourself had a bad confrontation with police officers. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have. But we just can't mark them off, just because of a situation like this. And we can't bring up the black situation either. I just don't like people doing stuff like that. Well, they're doing this because he was black. No, he had a warrant for his arrest.
Well, I mean, the officers were black.
I mean, the officers are black.
Yeah, both of them were,
and he beat up his girlfriend. He stole a car. He wrecked her car.
Yeah.
And he had a weapon on him, which, she was not supposed to have in the first place. And no telling what he would have done in this place. So did they overdo the situation here, in this whole thing? Anyway, all right. So in other news, it tickles me that, too rough. I mean, I don't understand. This was a criminal. He's a criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect? I mean,
again, I do think even with a criminal, you can be too rough, but this is not too rough.
But they had to respond in the way they did. The guy was resisting arrest, no telling what else he would have done, and officers had to do. What do you think these officers are going to do? Okay, well, they're going to walk in there and say, oh, you slapped me. Oh, you're resisting. That's okay. We're just here to try to help you. Can we talk to you, please? Can we be nice to you? We just won't want to overdo everything. We just, please, don't slap us again, please. I mean, no.
Look,
that's not the way they're going to respond, and that's not the way their officers are supposed to respond. And I think they did everything that they were supposed to do in accordance to what they needed to do to arrest this guy.
Yeah, and mainly, again, because he had beat his girlfriend up, punched her in the mouth, according to the report.
Yeah.
And look, now, here's the thing I was talking about, though. Now, you see the picture now, Bob. I just was able to pull it up. It wasn't in that video. There were two videos. I'm not able to get the other one right now, but this is part of that video. It's a clip from the news. You see that officer there?
With the red hat on.
Yes.
He's walking toward the camera, the guy with the camera. Yeah,
and you see he's pissed.
Right.
And you see he's got both fists clenched, and he's walking.
Right.
And Rayford dropped his phone because the officer came up to him. He said, the officer, and I heard him say it in the video, do you want to be next? At that point,
wow,
you don't need to do that as a police officer.
Yeah.
You come after the man filming, you can see he's in hysteria, which is to be expected, honestly.
Well, I mean,
I'm not blaming the man from being in hysteria.
Okay, now, we don't know all the situation either. We don't know what the man with the camera may have said to the officer.
I mean, you can hear it.
You can hear it. You can hear
all
him.
he said. And look,
what did he do? I mean, it was like he was kind of telling the officers, "Y'all need to stop this." What did he do? He didn't do it. What? Okay,
and that's unnecessary.
That's unnecessary.
But it's not against the law. People scream at police all the time. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but that don't mean the police has the right to go up with your fist clenched like you're gonna, foul on somebody.
Yeah.
No, I mean, just handle the situation. Look, and if you can see in the background, there's like 3 more officers have entered the building at this point. So the backup has arrived and the situation's under control. Why are you still going around trying to get the old man's phone. Let him do what he's doing and take that fool on out the building.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, especially
that's the only excessive I'll say. They didn't everything else they did with the man. I don't got no problem.
I mean, then especially in the area of town that they're in too, Westwood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I mean,
I've been down to Westwood, but I didn't.
Y'all know Westwood if you're from Memphis.
Yeah,
So,
you know. Hey,
shout out to it. But look,
Sheila Godwin
says, yeah, I got a comment here.
Yeah.
Says, regardless if he or is not the police, need also to keep their calm.
Keep their calm. Okay, what do you mean? Police officers stay calm.
And she also says,
wait. How are police officers remain calm when they're arresting a person with a warrant? When they're arresting a person that has already assaulted his girlfriend? When they're arresting a person that has already stolen a car and has wrecked the car, and he's got a weapon on him? Okay, how are police officers going to remain calm?
Well,
it doesn't. Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. Look, remaining calm. That's kind of what police tell people to do. Yeah. Remain calm. Now, if that person doesn't remain calm, then the situation is not going to be calm.
No, absolutely not.
Now,
it's not like, for instance,
yeah,
I've been stopped by a police officer. Like I said, not too far from where I live, right down the street from where we live.
Mm-hmm.
And the police officer got out. He was very nice and calm about it. And I gave him my ID. Yes, sir. No, sir. And so when he found out that everything was okay, and he said, I apologize for the mistake, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, that's okay, officer. You guys are doing a fine job and keep up the good work. Boom. I remained calm. The officer remained calm. Now, if I had said, what are you stopping me for? You guys you just pulled me. This was a white officer now. Mm-hmm. What if I had told him, you pulled me over because I was black, didn't you? What if I would have gotten hostile, and then this would have probably caused this officer to get on the defense. You see what I mean? The scripture tells us soft answer turns away wrath. Grievous words stir up anger. And, if we answer a person with soft, and we respond in a soft way, professional way, then they're going to respond in the way that we respond. But if we answer them in grievous words and angered words, what do you expect them to say?
And now,
it's going to spark. Yeah, it's going to spark another spark back at you.
I got you. I just want to read a couple more,
okay,
so you can answer all of these from Sheila. And we appreciate the comments when you're watching, Sheila.
Mm-hmm.
She says a person is said to be considered innocent until proven guilty in the court of law.
He was already guilty.
Well,
he had warrants for his arrest. He had hit his girlfriend. He had stolen her car. So, okay, go ahead.
And again,
yeah,
it's still proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Innocent until proven guilty, but you still got to arrest them. Now, Sheila says they are trained. She says everyone needs to stay calm, which is true. That's what you want.
Right.
Sheila says, but they do not, and things happen. So, I think we agree on for the most part.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Sheila, what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this officer in the red was very hype. And he beat that dude like that. Why
do you think he was hyped though?
Well, because of the situation, and that your adrenaline's going when you're dealing with a guy that's wrestling with you. So, I don't really blame him for how they took him down. And you saw he kneed him in the side pretty hard too. And that's take the wind out of something. You do what you got to
do to bring him under control.
Yeah, especially if he's
he would not have gotten a knee. Yeah. He would not have gotten a fist. He would not have gotten anything else if he had just, when they asked, you have any ID on you? He would say, if he had responded, yes, sir, I can show you my ID. Is it okay if I reach and get my ID? But he didn't respond that way.
Yeah, and the reason why is because he knew why they were there.
He knew why they were there.
Yeah. So
even though he knew why they were there, He knew he was a criminal. He knew he was wrong. Even though if you're a criminal, still respond in a positive way and do it does just because you're a criminal, it doesn't justify or give you any justification to fight the officers or to rebel against what they're doing.
Yeah, and
9012136020. Yes, sir.
I agree. Yeah. And Sheila says, I'm not taking up for the guy at all, but you know, and I get it, you know, like anybody that watched it, I can see people like, oh my goodness, you know, you clutching your pearl necklace and you're like, oh, this is violence. You know, maybe you've never seen a police altercation before, but yeah. Hey, Sabine Pfister says it's hot in Memphis. Tempers flare.
Oh, come on.
No, that's a great point.
That's true, but come on. Okay,
but now
wait, this is my point. This is what I want to say.
The officer's hot. He got a white look. Okay. What police officer you seen?
So the tempers of the officers flared because the weather's hot outside, or was it because of this character in here that has a warrant for his arrest and they had to do what they had to do?
Both. And now Sabine said she didn't see anything wrong.
Okay.
So, and I agree. Look, the police officer, I ain't never seen an officer wear a straight white tee and a bulletproof vest. He was hot. He said, I ain't putting all that stuff on. I'm
putting this bulletproof vest on and anything and a t-shirt and hey, this thing is gonna protect me when I go in. I'm going in cool.
And it's 200 degrees outside, and you got to deal with this dude talking about what you want my ID for?
Yeah. He's ready. Oh, they were ready for him. They probably had information enough to know that this guy was gonna resist. And they didn't just come in.
Well, they knew he was a risk. Yeah.
They didn't just come in and didn't know anything about this guy. They knew about this guy.
Absolutely.
They probably knew about the guy that dropped him off there, but he just wasn't. He left him there. He said, buddy, you taking too long in there. He said he hightailed on, got out of there, they knew they have to protect themselves. And that's what they're there for, to protect the public. And what this guy did to his girlfriend, what he did in this place, he resisted arrest. He had warrants for his arrest. So I don't feel sorry for him.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't feel sorry for him.
I don't think anybody should really. This is not the dude to take up for, you want to talk about police brutality. This ain't it, y'all.
No, this is not police brutality
this ain't
here.
The one.
No, this is not the one here.
Hey, Sylvester Prince Jr. says you have to let the officers do their job.
Yes, absolutely.
It is Sheila, and I guess it was Sheila that tried to call earlier. We did get it; it just stopped ringing.
Yeah, Sheila, she can call back again. Sheila, you can probably say more of what you want to say. Some people don't understand. You can probably say more in a conversation over the phone than you can type your stuff in. But we appreciate you typing it in and leaving your information as well. Now, thanks for watching, Sylvester.
Now, real quick,
Prince.
All of y'all watching.
Let me say this.
Before that, I'm
go
gonna just be real quick.
Yeah,
go ahead, y'all that are watching right now. Hit that like button. Share this video if you enjoy what we're talking about. Agreeing or disagreeing, we appreciate it, man. Go on and hit that like button. All y'all that are watching, and it is greatly appreciated, as well as sharing.
Or you can share, and then other people that are following you can catch on and
do both
and check into the show.
Do both.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, 901-213-6020. And let me say this. Sylvester Prince, his wife, Rose Prince. Man, I'm telling you, if you're looking for someone to do a wedding ceremony, to sing at your wedding ceremony, birthday party, special events, family reunion, any kind of holiday thing that you have, celebration that you have going on. Rose Prince, his wife, I'm telling you something, folks. You need to get her there with a voice as beautiful as a rose. You need to call and check with them out and check her out and get her to your special event.
Matter of fact, I can play it real quick.
Yeah, let's play that real quick. I don't have the phone number readily available, and maybe Prince can put that up Sylvester can put that up on the screen as well.
And I'm going to play the audio real quick.
Yes, sir. Let's play this real quick. Take a listen to this, folks, and you be glad that you can get her out to your special event.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, take a listen. If you're scheduling a wedding, a funeral, birthday party, appreciation service, or any other special event, then you'll probably need an experienced singer. Rose Prince has been singing in church choirs since the age of 8. Rose has been in very prestigious choirs where she has been selected to sing lead and on praise and worship teams. Rose has also been enrolled in institutional voice lessons. Book a local singer with a wide vocal range and with a voice as beautiful as a rose. Call Rose Prince at 405-468-4953. That's Rose Prince at 405-468-4953 for your special events. There you go. And you'll be glad you did do that today. Well, tonight. Well, probably a little too late tonight, but I'm pretty sure they'd be glad to take your call. Josh, 901-213-6020. I think I'm going to leave that police thing alone there, but hey, you know how I feel about it.
Definitely. Y'all still got
police officers are there to protect and defend.
Absolutely.
And criminals are there to rip you off and to rob you and take advantage of you. Why are we always on the side of the criminal? And especially in Memphis, Tennessee? Come on, folks. You know, hey, criminals, crime is everywhere, though. And, you know, hey, and I'm like this.
Mm-hmm.
If a police officer's wrong, Josh, you know me. I don't stand only on the side of police officers if they're wrong.
Absolutely. Nobody's wrong. Whoever's wrong, they're gonna get talked about from us.
Absolutely. If we're not gonna agree with them.
Absolutely.
You know, so but in this particular case, I'm sorry, folks. And this guy, he deserved what he got.
All right, let's go to the phone lines.
Call from. Shoot, I got one. To accept, press 1.
All right, Sheila, welcome to the show. Good evening on a Sunday.
Good evening on a Sunday. You know, I agreed with most of everything you said, but I understand you let a policeman do his job, but a lot of these officers oftentimes talk too much. Said too much, you know, do your job, but you ain't got to be running, you know, because you're a police officer, don't give you the right to initiate, instigate.
What do you mean initiate or instigate? What
I
do you
mean,
mean by
you
that?
know, if like for instance, if you're arresting somebody and they say something smart, you say something smart back. You ain't got to say something smart because they say something smart, do you?
No.
So, but I saw the film, and you know, the guy didn't want to get arrested. That's why he said, ask the guy, act like he didn't know what he was talking about because he didn't want to get arrested. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I understand, you know, he beat his girlfriend up, you know. Of course, you don't know what that, you know, whatever situation they was in, he shouldn't have rose to the situation for him to beat his girlfriend up, but you don't never know what happened before then. You don't know what she did to him. But he still didn't have to steal a car.
Wait a minute. Are you still trying to defend this?
Well, yeah. Well, no, I'm not defending him. I'm just telling you the fact. You know, regardless of the fact, whatever he did, the police will still need to, and that's why all these boys are getting killed. You can't go off on the guy. Whatever he did, you're there to arrest him and do your job, not to judge or he got a warrant.
Okay, what do you mean not to judge? How did they judge him here? Or were they just doing their job?
That you asked that what I saw just then in regard to that particular video. I'm just talking in general, but that particular video, he took him down. I don't know. I maybe could have prompted him a little bit more before he took him down, but
you know what? I think you got to think about, and this may be ridiculous for me, but these are Memphis officers too. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell these guys like, hey, bro, you know, it's hot. I'm in here in a t-shirt, and you ain't gonna let me put the handcuffs on you. Now I gotta hit you with this 3-piece hot wings.
Let me say this. I am trained. I'm trained. I work with juveniles. I'm a caseworker, social worker. Okay. I'm trained to put you down. Okay. I work with kids in detention. I'm trying to put you down. Okay.
See, you could have probably did a better job than they did.
So no, I don't know about that, but I'm trying to put you down. and there's a procedure. You know, you're trained and you know when to do stuff and when not. And all I'm saying, the video, it was all right. You know, they did what they did. They didn't hurt it. The other guy didn't know what was going on. He was hollering, you know, all of this and all of that. But my point still is, police, that was not anything. It went virtual. But in situations where police officers are trained and they and things happen or get out of control, I'm just saying that you're trained to know what to do and what not to do.
That's true.
So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm happy that I didn't know if y'all was live or not.
Yes,
you know, then I saw y'all was live, so it's been a while since I called in.
I appreciate it. I was thinking, Sheila.
Yeah, we have several shows on. We have
Sheila from Jackson, Tennessee.
Jackson, Tennessee. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the call from Jackson. And we have several shows on here, so keep listening, and we'll have other shows going on, sports shows, other talk shows, and other things on here that we have available. So keep listening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, in Jackson, Tennessee.
Jackson, Tennessee, in the building.
In the building, Memphis has not showed up with a call yet. People out of Jackson, Tennessee had to show them off. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, but comments coming in, and we appreciate your comments as well. Sylvester made a comment.
Yes, he says everyone has an opinion. Come across a violent criminal or being a victim of.
He said everybody has an opinion until.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant.
Until they come across a violent criminal or
being a victim of a crime.
Being a victim of a crime. Yeah. So when they experience it themselves, he's right. You know, so you want to, you know, not criticize the police officers too much, especially if they're right. You know, because there may be a time come that you might need those very officers.
And you're going to want them to beat the dog.
Yeah, for you, you're going to want them to do a whole bunch of stuff that you probably complain that they were doing to others. So you got to think about this, folks. That's what they're there for, to protect and serve. And so when you have crime as high as it is in a lot of cities and that are going on in Memphis, Tennessee as well. And a lot of some little cities as well is getting a high on crime now. So, I mean, you know, I don't think it's just being too rough on people, but, you know, criminals are criminals. And especially if they got a warrant for their arrest, hey, I mean, you know, you can come take them, but if they're going to resist, what are you supposed to do? You're going to resist? Okay, we're going to let you resist and you know, and everything. We'll let you go, okay? I mean, no. Their job is to be rough.
Got to show love.
I mean, tough love. That's their job. They're not, you know, I mean, and on top of that, we as taxpayers, we pay their bill. I mean, we paid for them to do what they do. So what are we going to do? Pay them to let the criminals go? Pay them to turn the other way when they're going in your house, maybe breaking in or in your neighbor's house or flying down the road and all this crazy stuff you got going on now in Memphis. In certain areas of town, they're just riding around and just spinning in circles in the street. You know, I bet you, Josh, somebody will call in or leave a note if the police officers start treating those guys a little rougher than spinning in the streets. I bet you somebody would complain on the police officers about that.
You think so?
Oh yeah. You know, there's always somebody's going to complain about the police officer, either because they hate police officers, or they've had a bad experience with police officers, or somebody in their family, or they feel that police officers just have it in for black people. No, this situation here, folks, that we're talking about tonight, no.
And look at this. Look, I'm watching it again. They really didn't take it that hard on old boy.
No,
they could have done a lot more than what they did.
Really could.
Like, I mean, they were holding back.
I mean,
look at this. They tried to take him down, but it wasn't really like anything egregious. They were using techniques that they tell you.
Yeah, I mean, but they could have really been like a wrestling match.
And look here where they got him on the ground. They could have been punching him in the face. They're just trying to grab his arms.
You know, I mean, they could have grabbed chairs, folded chairs, and told the other officer hold him, and then knocked him across the head with chairs and brass knuckles and all that kind of. But they
straight
didn't.
Pro wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, just straight
Bluff City wrestling.
But they didn't.
Yeah,
you know. But hey. Stanley Fenster says,
"What's up, Stanley?" That's Sabine.
That's Sabine. Oh,
well, yeah, okay. I
Sabine.
thought you saw. Yeah, well,
no. Sabine says.
Sabine says the guy
is hot in Memphis.
I read that, but yeah.
Temper okay, yeah, okay. She said that earlier. Okay,
but she did more curious.
She just came up with another post. Okay,
I got you. It says the guy had control of the situation. He's the one who let it get out of hand. She also says, "I agree with both of you. Have seen much worse."
Yeah.
I remember that situation. Me and Bob were talking before the show. We did about a month ago. We talked with Mike Williams about it. We showed him the video.
Yeah.
Of the them beating. Now they were beating this dude down. Now, he was on the ground. They were kicking him. And
I remember
PD
that.
officers because the guy had broke that guy officer's nose.
Yeah.
And there was a officer from either Labana or the Med was out there helping the police officer beat this dude up outside.
Wow.
That had punched him in the nose. So, yeah, this is nothing like that.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I mean, they have to work together to protect each other, and then ultimately they're there to protect and serve the community where we live. Now, that's what it's all about. 901-213-6020 and your comments. Thank you for your comments, and keep rolling them in. Yeah.
Now I know we got another story too. If we want to get to, which is completely different, but it's also involving the law and involving the state of Tennessee.
Sylvester said it wasn't Labana.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's important to say that now because security officers at Labana can't get involved. Anyway. Okay.
I ain't gonna say why I'm laughing, but that's okay. It makes sense.
Okay.
But hey, so anyway, check out this story. Now, the homeless. No, that's always a big thing, right?
Right.
The homeless population is rising, they say, in the state of Tennessee, and nationwide as well, but specifically the state of Tennessee has come up with a law to curb it to some degree. I don't know if you want to call it that, but it's punishing those that are out there.
Or is it punishing those that are homeless?
Very good question. So,
do you have the story?
Yes.
Homeless people camping out in different areas of the city, and there are homeless people that are parked all over the place. They park either in their cars in different places. They're laying out on benches in the parks. They're putting up tents in certain places. So what should we do? What should be done to help the homeless in these situations? I mean, we come up with solutions for everything else and spend millions of dollars on other things. What should be done to gather up the homeless and help them in these particular situations here, or what should we do
now? And before we get into it completely, because I'm gonna let the story set it up, then we'll ask that question again. But we're gonna also ask the question: is this too rough?
Is it too? Yeah.
Well, because you're gonna hear exactly what we're talking about here,
right,
in the story. So y'all take a listen to this.
All right, we'll be back after this. You can chime in with your comments and our phone calls. Whichever way you want to do it, 901-213-6020 is the number to call. Take a listen and look at this. And we'll be back and get your opinion on how this situation with the homeless should be handled.
Well, in less than a month, you could be arrested for camping overnight on public property. It's a new law that many say targets the homeless population. State Capitol reporter Chelsea Beimfor explains why the bill did not earn the governor's signature.
We don't feel safe in this park.
At Brookmead Park in West Nashville, the homeless population has taken over.
People were overdosing. People were being neglected. There was abuse. There was prostitution. There were things going on here that had never been going on here before.
Neighbors like Dee Dee Bird and Rebecca Lowe have been working towards a solution for months: clean up the park and safely rehouse the homeless. Lowe even testifying to lawmakers at the state capitol.
I started a coalition of neighbors who not only wanted to enjoy our park again, but we also wanted to make sure that the people who'd somehow been allowed to live there would be compassionately helped and housed. And I called the group Reclaim Brookmead Park.
A new state law that takes effect July 1st may clear the homeless population out of the park, but it could land them behind bars.
One of the reasons that I didn't sign that bill was because I do think there's a better way. And I want to be a part of that solution.
House Bill 978 passed the House and Senate, but was not signed off on by Governor Bill Lee. The law creates a Class C misdemeanor if a person camps on or near a state roadway and makes it a felony to camp on public property like parks.
I want to bring together all the parties. I want to call together the faith leaders, the nonprofits, the governmental leaders, those who advocate for the homeless, those who understand the housing challenges and the issues.
Bird says the law could be a step in the right direction, but it doesn't solve the underlying problem and ultimately criminalizes the homeless.
There has to be a safe place to put them. We don't want them just to scatter and go somewhere else. We want them to get the assistance that they need to be a healthy individual and to be able to give back to a community.
Reporting in Nashville, I'm Chelsea Beimfor. The law, by the way, goes into effect July 1st.
All right. Well, here they said, seems like the homeless, and let everybody tell it, the homeless are now becoming criminals.
Yeah.
It's a crime to be homeless.
How about that?
I mean, they're criminalizing the homeless people, and what do you think about that, folks? I mean, what should be done? Normally, people would, have sympathy and try to help those that are in need, especially if we've got these nonprofit organizations, churches, and things of that nature. And rather than having all these big events that they're putting up and singing programs and, and all this other kind of stuff, I'm not against all of that. All I'm saying is, are we as church organizations or nonprofit organizations, are they doing their job in some cases? Now, I'm not saying all churches.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go to the commercial pill, write an article on me or call CNN or Fox News. I didn't say all churches. I am saying that there's a better way, like Bill Lee said, the governor, and I agree with him. Instead of criminalizing these homeless people, there is a better way. And so what can we do to help? What should we do to help in this particular situation? Should there be a particular area that they come up with? And now putting them out of the parks and all that, and I understand people like their city to look pretty.
Yeah.
Okay? But there's more people complaining about the homeless sleeping out on the streets and in the parks than they are complaining about the trash all over the city of Memphis. There's trash everywhere, so
that's true.
And then they're complaining about, trash, but they're not too much concerned about that, but they're wanting the homeless, get rid of them, get them off the street, but okay, if you want them off the street, what's your solution? Do you have a solution that can help these people? I think that's what we need to sit down and do and come up with solutions and find a way and answers to help the homeless people rather than criminalize them and and come up with a law to make it a crime against the homeless people. That's what they've done.
Yeah.
To come up with a law to criminalize them.
To that point,
give them a criminal background.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
To that point, you were talking about before the show, and I got it here. The first Tennessean has been arrested for this new law.
Yes, one person in Tennessee has already been arrested.
And I got it right here. It's a homeless Knoxville woman has apparently become, and I'm reading from the news in Knoxville, become the first person in Tennessee to be arrested under a new controversial law that targets the poorest of the poor by making it a felony to camp without permission on government property. She was in fact arrested on this past Tuesday, by officers from the University of Tennessee Police Department, although the law isn't supposed to go into effect until July 1st. Now that's interesting also.
But they arrested her before the law went into effect.
Yeah,
but hey, I don't know. There's got to be a better way, folks. And I applaud the governor for backing up and saying, hey, you're not going to get me in on this. I'm not signing that bill.
Yeah. It seems like it can go in law without it, regardless.
But he's determined that his signature is not going to be a part of that.
Yeah. I think that's a good look for him.
Just to say, hey, I signed my signature on here against the homeless so that they, can't be out in the parks and all that other kind of stuff. Considering thyself, lest you also be tempted. What happens? What if you're in that or become in that particular situation? You got to consider yourself and take a look at yourself in particular situation like this, because one day it could be one of your loved ones, or it could be you.
Yeah. With the way the economy is, shout out to Sylvester Prince, says if gas prices get any higher, he says I'll be home.
Oh, Sylvester. Yeah. Hey,
a lot of people are feeling it. Hey.
The gas prices are out of this world, folks. It is ridiculously high,
and people going back and forth to work every day.
Yeah, and they know you need it. You can't do without it. And don't even talk about me about getting an electric automobile. That's totally out of the question.
I don't know. Man.
I don't know.
I have changed. Look, I'm gonna tell you.
Look, I'm telling you. Look, it costs so much money to get an electric car.
But do you think you save on the back end?
No, absolutely not. By the time you get an electric car and spend the money and all that stuff and the charging, and then they don't have the charging stations and all that across the state of Tennessee in places where you need to go and charge your automobile. Yeah. And then there's a cost, I think, for that. So, I mean, you're not going to be able to plug up anywhere and charge your car for free.
You bring your extension cord and you just see what you can do.
And you can't buy those $2 extension cords from the dollar store either.
Them brown.
Yeah, I'm telling you, what you're going to buy is something that's very expensive. 901-213-6020. The homeless folks camping out in the parks. What do you say? Should there be a law against it? It goes into effect July 1st. What should they do? Should they give the homeless a criminal record by criminalizing them and arresting them for sleeping in the park or in places in their automobiles, or shouldn't be parked in certain places? Should there be a place where homeless people, or should they in certain places of the city or wherever you are, wherever you live, should they provide a fenced-in area, parking lot or something, to where only the homeless can pull in at night and park and be safe off the streets, and then leave the next day and go back to work or wherever they need to go to prepare themselves for the next day and be able to come back in and park overnight, just to be off the streets or during the day if they're not working during the day, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Folks, it's hot. The weather is hot. The weather is bad. And then there's people that don't have automobiles and and the cars to sleep in, and they're out in the elements, in the rain. If it's raining, they're gonna get rained on. If it's hot, they're gonna be faced with the heat, and the without water and food and all that other kind of stuff. We have to have the heart of compassion toward these people. Again, 901-213-6020. Sylvester says what?
Yes, sir. I was about to get to that there. Right on the money. He says, and this is an interesting conversation. He said, if we can send billions of dollars to other countries, have a defense budget higher than any country in the world, we can come up with something to help the homeless population.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
If you look at the defense budget, it is astronomical.
Man.
And even with the cuts that's been made, the second highest is still very, very far away.
Take a listen to this.
Yeah.
How much money did the president get up and just say, or Congress, or get up to Ukraine? I've just, and with his chest all bowled out, I've just signed a $31 billion package to go to Ukraine. Okay, there's Ukrainians in America.
Yeah.
There's people here in this country that you could sign a $31 billion bill and spread it around and help these homeless people in the United States. Now, some people will say, well, you have to be careful spending all of that money because a lot of homeless people are people that are lazy and they don't want to work and all that other kind of stuff. And so you don't want to spend that much money on people that don't want to work and provide things for them for free. Well, no, you can put stipulations in all of that stuff. Now, you can make rules for some of that stuff for what they do so that they don't take advantage of that type of program. Yeah.
And I had to look it up exactly to see how much has been spent just in Ukraine.
In Ukraine.
And I got it right here. First thing popped up. The United States has sent more than $54 billion. 54 billion to Ukraine since the war against Russia started.
Wow.
3 months ago.
$54 billion to Ukraine. And there's people here in this country. What do you think they could do with $54 billion for the homeless?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I mean,
you could probably build a house for every homeless person and help them get, I mean, it's unlimited, but that could be done.
But people in this country have to go through so many programs, have to jump through so many fences and loops and all this other kind of stuff just to get $1.
Yep.
You know, and they hand out bologna sandwiches at the welfare office, or I don't know if there's still welfare office, but whatever, food stamp places or whatever they do, but anyway, they, from some of the, some people, they said now people eat good off food stamps, but it's still, folks, $54 billion has been sent to Ukraine to help those people, but yet you don't spend nearly as much here in this country to help the people in this country, in the United States. The poor people, the homeless people we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, folks. Some people say, well, they need to help themselves. Well, but listen, let me tell you something. I don't think that these people that are homeless want to be there. Definitely. I don't think so. You can't convince me that that's the case. GKP, thanks for joining us tonight. I don't think that's the case. You can't convince me that most of those people that are homeless want to be there in that position. I don't believe it. And if you have a comment or maybe you can write something down or you can call in and you can convince me, I don't see it. 901-213-6020. Sylvester says, Sabine, we read the last comment from Sabine?
Yeah, I just put it on the screen. Well, I didn't read it yet, but she says, that Tennessee law is same like kicking somebody when he's down. Totally unethical. The law as far as
absolutely. I agree, Sabine. I agree.
Now, Sylvester says, giving them a criminal record will hinder them from finding employment. So at that point, you're dooming them to a lifetime of poverty.
That is so on point, Sylvester.
That's really is.
That is so on point right there. I mean,
Because it's like you're adding to the cycle.
Man, you're adding to the problem.
Yeah.
You're not giving a solution. You're adding to the problem, because if they become a criminal, now it's hard for them to get out after that to get a job anywhere.
Especially
it's hard to get anything from anybody if they got a criminal record just because they're homeless.
Yeah.
Folks, come on now. This is ridiculous. This is totally ridiculous.
And GKP says, we in here, Bishop.
Okay. Hey, appreciate you, GKP. And GKP has a lot of things going on as well with himself. And he gives a lot of good answers and problem-solving solutions.
And actions, too.
Yeah.
Some kids.
So we appreciate what he's doing in the community and online as well, and what he contributes to our show. Sylvester says he's got another point here.
He says people don't understand what $1 billion is.
Yeah,
since you can fix the homeless issue with less than
that.
$1 billion. I mean, like $1 billion is a look. So, like, imagine
$1 million and then $1 billion.
Yeah,
you got to get what is $1 billion?
It's
1,000 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
1,000 million.
So 900 million is still not $1 billion. So, but 900 million is a lot. 500 million is a lot.
Listen,
that's insane, and that's only half of $1 billion. So yeah,
wow.
But we gave 54 of them to Ukraine, and like I say, there's nothing wrong with helping, but I really feel like the priorities are out of whack.
Yes, I agree. The priorities are totally out of whack here.
And look what's happened. Look what's happened in this country. I feel like 3 months ago, I know inflation was already kind of happening, but ever since the U.S. decided to put this huge financial effort into Ukraine, I feel like that's when things got nuts.
It just went crazy.
With prices and with everything in the grocery stores.
Everywhere you go, it is totally high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 3 months ago when they started spending this money. So.
And then, oh Lord, don't get me bring this up. And then the audacity of our president with the economy, gas prices, homeless situation spiking out of control. He gets up the other night and then gets upset, and he was very upset. I thought he was going to have a heart attack talking about the abortion situation.
Ooh.
I mean, the man was hysterical.
Did you see him fall off a bike? He was riding a bike the other day. You saw he was riding a bicycle?
Yeah, he need to retire. I mean, who's afraid of him? There's no country afraid of him. He's
I'm not laughing at him falling off a bike, man, but it was very it was unfortunate.
Yeah. This guy, man, I mean, come on, folks. We've got to do better with homeless people. We've got to do better with those that are less fortunate. We've got to do better, folks. This is, and I encourage organizations. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of church organizations that are doing good, and they're trying to help people as much as they can. But those organizations, church organizations, and you can get mad at me if you want to. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, you listen. If they already know me and Memphis, they know I don't care.
Y'all already know
what
it is.
You already know what it is. Like GKP said,
yeah.
I don't care. Get mad at me. Same breath you get mad and you got to get glad in. I mean, and like I said, I'm not knocking church. There's a lot of churches that are doing good in a lot of areas, very good, and helping people and giving to people. But now the few people, the churches that I'm talking about, they need to get off the stool or do nothing and get out there and take care of business. This is what it's all about. It's about helping those that are in need. It's about ministering to the whole person, spirit, soul, and body. That's what it's about. How can you get up in somebody's face and they're homeless and they're living out, sleeping in the grass and on a parking lot, and their families covered up with torn blankets at night, and trying to stay free of mosquitoes and bugs and spiders and don't have anywhere to go, and you're going to go out there and talk about Jesus is good. Let me tell you about the Lord. Honey, they don't want to hear that. They want something they can put in their belly. They want something that they can that you can show the love of God. They want you to show the love of God to them first before you start witnessing and telling them about Jesus. If you want to tell them about Jesus, show them Jesus. Show them Jesus in your actions.
It's powerful.
And all the money we spend in Afghanistan and other places sending weapons and things of that nature out over there, and weapons cost hundreds of billions of dollars. And then let the people in this country just sleep on the streets and know where to go and no food to eat. This country needs to repent. Yeah, I said it. This country needs to repent. This is why we're in this situation that we're in. This is why crime is going berserk in this country. This is why we're in this situation we're in with the economy. They've forgotten about the principle of God, helping those that are in need. They've forgotten about that. And so we need to revisit some of these things.
100%.
100%. And do the right thing. 901-213-6020. And thanks, Sylvester said, man,
oh yeah,
people don't understand what $1 billion is. Man, that turned me on right there.
Yeah.
Just to think about what is $1 billion. And so far the United States has provided Ukraine with 54 billion. 54 of those billions. 1 billion is 100 million.
Yeah, 1,000.
1,000 million.
Yeah.
1 billion is 1,000 million. And all of these homeless people, can you imagine just somebody, if that $54 billion was spent right here, and then the other $100 billion of other aid and weapons that have been sent to help in this situation, other places around the world. Can you imagine spending just some of these houses in this city that are empty and homeless people on the streets and can't live? If this country would just spend what? Some of those homes are not even worth $50,000.
Yeah.
They can take those homes and, if they don't straighten them up, at least give them a home. Buy them a home, $54,000, $60,000, $70,000. What is $70,000 to $54 billion?
It's a great point.
Oh, man.
Man, you make so many good points. I can't even say anything. You are 100% on it, man. We really got to think about when you look at wasteful spending, in this country, or the wasteful priorities in a lot of ways. And then you got the audacity to create a law. And this is shaking your finger at the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because this is particular here, where you arrest homeless people just for being homeless.
For being homeless?
And for having nowhere to live.
But yet at the same time,
and then you're going to give them a felony to compound their situation.
That messes their record up. They can't get a job if they wanted to get one. Couldn't even get a bank account.
Yeah.
It doesn't. But yet, the first thing you hear people say about criminals, like this guy was being arrested and the police is too rough. Police is too rough on the criminal, but yet, we can't help the homeless. Our priorities are messed up. Our priorities are in the wrong place. Sylvester says the weapons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, let me put it back up. It says the weapon we left in Afghanistan, if we would have just sold them to our allies in the region, we could have fixed the homeless problem.
Man, good point.
Yep. GKP says show them, when you were talking about show them the love of God, essentially, to what we're saying.
Absolutely.
And Sylvester Prince says no one wants to hear about Jesus until they know you care.
Thank you.
And that's the church issue.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'm gonna say
That's
this.
it.
I'm
That's
gonna throw.
it. That's it.
I'm gonna throw this to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Not all, but this same thing we're saying
Mm-hmm.
to another issue. And I think let's go back to the Roe versus Wade thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was saying yesterday. And I continue to say how I have no problem with what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of misinformation being put out there and trying to spread radical panic on the part of women. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of women being intentionally misleading with their information. But what nobody wants to say, and you know this, Bob, there are a lot of women. As a matter of fact, there's more women than men that support this decision.
Yeah.
But a lot of those that are pro abortion will ignore those women.
Yeah.
So that ought to make you wonder right there. But the point number 2 is, even despite all of that, when you say, and I'll read it again, no one wants to hear about Jesus until they know you care. And that's the church's issue.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing. We got so caught up in politics, even with the abortion issue, that it's gotten to the point with some. Now, this isn't everybody, because there's a lot of churches that show love and show that they care. But the loud ones have just made it political to the point where you're shouting, and I've seen this, where you're shouting that this person's going to hell or this person is evil or whatever the case. And the person you're shouting at, was raped and had an abortion. You know what I'm saying? What or any of those other situations, which I know those are the smaller percentage, but either way it goes, or had an abortion because they felt that was their only option because of the way Planned Parenthood reaches those people. You got to be as shrewd as snakes in a lot of situations, which is what Paul was talking about in the Bible. Meaning, you got to show that love. People need to know that you care about them.
Wise as a serpent.
Wise as a serpent.
And harmless as a dove.
Harmless as a dove. That's it. That's it. And this, now that Roe versus Wade has been overturned, the focus needs to turn to that. Show these folks that you care about them, so that they know Jesus isn't a hateful person screaming at them.
Right.
Jesus is there to embrace you, even in the wrong that you're doing. But he's there to love you in it and bring you out of it, if you're willing to accept it.
Absolutely.
That's what the church needs to do. And that goes to homelessness. That goes to people that feel abortion is the only option. That goes to people in sin. That goes to people in all sorts of other problems. That's the case. So, man, powerful stuff.
Yes, great stuff. Great stuff.
Didn't know this conversation go this way, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah, it did. And so, hey, we're thankful for that. Okay, and I thank all the people for joining us tonight. Appreciate all your comments, your phone calls, and everything that you've made it to be tonight. And folks, let's think about this. Really think about when you lay down tonight on your pillow in your bedroom, or if you're sleeping on a couch, you still have it better. You have a place to stay. Think about those people that when you go to sleep tonight in your home, your air conditioning's blowing, and you're in the comfort of a safe place. Doors and windows are locked. Think about those that are on the streets tonight. They're sleeping in their cars. Their air conditioning's probably, some cars not working. And those that are just out on the street that don't have a car. And then there are some people that are roaming right now while we're talking, Josh. My goodness, there are people right now. It's late. They're roaming the streets trying to figure out where are they going to lay their head tonight. Are they going to get behind a bush, a hedges or somewhere and sneak and get behind some hedges and lay down and hopefully nobody will see them and crash and sleep for the night? Or what? There are people right now that are searching for a place to lay their head. They just don't know. And we have to think about that. And we have to be conscious of what we have been blessed with and think about those that are less fortunate. How could you even think of criminalizing and making a criminal out of a homeless person? That is the lowest of lowest. I don't understand it. It is such an ungodly thought to even consider such a thing.
Got a comment. Chip Washington, host of Real Talk. What's going on? He says, respectfully, no one has the right to tell a woman what she can do with her own body. He says, I'm not for abortion, but I am for choice. He says, I am enjoying the dialogue on the show. He said, and yes, you're right. Let's not take our comfort for granted when you talk about the homeless situation. And Chip also says, God says love is about others before ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We cannot tell a woman what to do with her, but you're right. She has a right to her body. But at the same time, she got to understand there's a God to stand before, and there's a God to glorify. That woman is going to have to answer to God. And as Christians, our job is to tell them the truth. It's not telling them what to do with their bodies. It's telling them the truth. We can't sit around and say, hey, I can't tell a woman what to do with her. You don't have to tell her what to do with her body. Tell her the truth. And the truth is, abortion is murder. Just be truthful. Tell her the truth. That's all you have to do. And we're not saying if she's raped or incest or health reasons. I can deal with that. But for a woman to just use it for convenience sake as a birth control method, to swing it and have sex whenever she wants to, and I'll use a pill, or I'll just go to the birth control or to the the abortion clinic and get rid of it, just like it's not even a human being. We got to think about the body of the unborn. The Bible tells us, he said, before I formed you in your mother's belly. Before, not after. God said, before I formed you in the womb of the woman's belly, he said, I knew you. If he knew them, then that means that was a person even before it was in the womb. And if it's in the womb, every seed has a growth pattern. And that seed that has been planted is not a fetus, it's a baby. It's a human being. It's a person. It's just growing. It's a growing process. It has to live off of someone until it comes out and the umbilical cord is cut and they can live on their own. But the growing process takes place in the womb of the woman. And to say that you can't tell her what she can do with her body is, to me, is a excuse, a cop-out. I'm not saying go to her and just tell her, just dog her out. No, you have to do it in love.
Yeah.
But you have to tell them the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
What you have in you is a human being, and you cannot get rid of it, because if you do, it's murder. There are so many women that have gone to abortion clinics and had abortions, and the trauma after the fact of having an abortion, it almost killed them.
There's a reason for that.
And so many women are tortured for the rest of their lives. It's easy for us to say, We can't tell them what to do. No, you can't. But you got to tell them the truth. For the love of God's sake, you've got to tell them the truth. Oh, Sylvester. Enjoyed the show tonight. Hopefully I'll be able to join another time.
Absolutely.
Chip,
appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you, Chip Washington. Great show and needed conversation.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Chip. We appreciate it. And appreciate the show plug on tomorrow night. God bless. Gentlemen.
Yes,
all right. Chip Washington, thank you, man. And I've seen him on. Good show he has going on there. And the name of his show is what? Real Talk?
Yeah, Real Talk.
You know, I used to host a show in Jackson, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Called Real Talk.
Yeah, you did.
I hosted a show in Jackson, Tennessee for a year. Had called Real Talk, and then my good friend, attorney Donnell.
Yeah, Richard Donnell.
Came in. We appointed him to
Gotta get him back on.
carry on. We got to get him back. He's a funny guy. He's a very smart guy, attorney.
Yeah, Lamont on, I believe.
Good friend out of Jackson. Yeah,
one of the top guys.
Yeah,
Well, not Lamont, Lane.
Lane College. Yeah, Lane College.
Or is it Lane or Union? I think it's Union.
No, Lane College.
It's Lane.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lane. Top one of the top guys over there at Lane. Yeah. Out of Jackson, Tennessee. Yeah, indeed.
And real quick, something I just saw, and I'll probably develops on it later this week. I may get him on to talk about it. And this is on the sports side of things. So kind of a swerve, but I have to because I see it's pretty big news. Shout out to my man Leon Taylor. He's put out a couple of news about the Tigers past week. And he puts this out today. He said he's projecting that Imani Bates, who was the top recruit last year that the Tigers got, spent a lot of the year away from the team. People felt like he was transferring. I believe he did enter the portal and was assuming that he wasn't going to be back.
Right.
Leon says, I'm projecting Imani Bates to announce later this week that he will rejoin the University of Memphis basketball program.
Oh, really?
He says, book it. Now, I know Leon says book it. It's 99.9% a done deal.
Yeah.
Now, I hadn't heard this reported nowhere else. Now, but there was a feeling that, and there was people talking like, could he come back? Because he hadn't really made a decision yet. I think that's the reason this thought is circulating. So we'll see what happens this week. And I say this, he's very talented.
Yeah.
And if he does, with what Penny's already bringing back, they're going to be nice next year.
Yeah, and some people leave, then they try to come back too, because they see things are not going to be as bad as they thought. And so that it was, well, let me see if I can work my way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome to come on back. Come on back. You might as well.
Penny got the arms open.
Yeah, he's got it open. Come on back. Make the team. Why go somewhere else and try to get a title for another place when you can just get it done here in Memphis? Just come together. Get it done, guys. Stop the... Okay, we're Josh. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Let's get this let me tell you something, folks. If you're looking, before you leave tonight, wait a minute, don't go nowhere, don't go anywhere. Let me tell you tomorrow where you can get the best soul food anywhere in the Mid-South. It is Shop and Save. 1499 South 3rd, 901-946-4303. They serve breakfast, they serve lunch, and they serve dinner.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm telling you, you can get your good breakfast starting at 6 o'clock in the morning at Shop and Save. I mean, whatever you want to name and think about on the breakfast food bar. Let me tell you something. You go to Shop and Save, you better think before when you get there, they've got it. Okay?
Yeah.
They've got it for breakfast. I'm telling you, they've got it. You can think of anything you want for breakfast. They've got it at Shop and Save. 1499 South 3rd, 901-946-4303. Some of the best soul food you'll ever taste. All right, let's get out of here, Josh, and hit that commercial. And folks, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you again next time. GKP, thanks for joining us. Man, it's been good.
All right, appreciate y'all.
For the best soul food in the Mid-South, it's Shop and Save. 1499 South 3rd, 901-946-4303. serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And some of the items on their menu consist of catfish, spaghetti, chicken and dressing, turkey wings, meatloaf, fried chicken, cabbage, yams, greens, salmon croquette, and the list goes on. Some of the best soul food you ever taste in the Mid-South, it is Shop and Save. 1499 South 3rd. Call them again at 901-946-4303. Been in business since 1991. Shop and Save, 1499 South 3rd, 901-946-4303 for some of the best soul food you'll ever taste. If you're scheduling a wedding, a funeral, birthday party, appreciation service, or any other special event, then you'll probably need an experienced singer. Rose Prince has been singing in church choirs since the age of 8. Rose has been in very prestigious choirs where she has been selected to sing lead and on praise and worship teams. Rose has also been enrolled in institutional voice lessons. Book a local singer with a wide vocal range and with a voice as beautiful as a rose. Call Rose Prince at 405-468-4953. That's Rose Prince at 405-468-4953 for your special events.
I watch y'all coming here for years, cause you shot somebody. Now your life is shot. You gonna pick that phone up one day, and that girl gonna be done dumped you and raise your child with another man. Or maybe your mama or your grandmama dies. Cause ain't nothing you can do about it. You got 15 to 20 years, state or fed time. Real talk. Don't lose your head, use your head, man. Gun crime, max time.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or a mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.